back to Historic Tahlequah. For this segment, I have as my guest Senator Jim Wilson, who is on the Thompson House Board. And Jim has been very helpful in doing the many projects that we have here. And Jim, let's talk about some of those projects. Our big project is painting now.
Yes.
And that's going to be a sizable amount of money, and we've never operated in the red on this board. You agree with me on that?
I agree with that.
And so we're in the process of raising money for the painting of the house. We also are looking forward to our History Day Camp and our Victorian Christmas this fall and winter. Would you care to say anything about the Victorian Christmas, Jim? You chaired that committee.
Yes, I have, and it's a lot of work, but it's something that people in this community really look forward to. We have a lot of guests come through and buy things for Christmas. We have it the first weekend of December, and that gives them time to buy little gifts and Christmas tree ornaments and so on for their own home use. We have a lot of pastries at that time. People will bake and donate pastries that we can sell, and jellies and jams and so on. We have plenty of gifts here, and a lot of crafts.
Yes.
So it's worked out real well. It's, like I said, it's a lot of work. But we decorate for Christmas. It's a great time, too, for people to come in and have photographs after we decorate of their families for Christmas cards and so on.
Yes. And all of these receipts from this effort go back into the fund because there are no paid employees for this house.
That's correct, and everything that happens, in fact, I've been involved in two major projects here. The first thing I got into was the fence.
Yes.
The fence project, and that was huge. I think we had to raise $15,000 for that.
It was near 20. It turned out to be near 20, okay. Jim.
And but it was worth it. It certainly is nice. But the citizens in this community step up for that type of thing. Then one of the abstract things that nobody sees is when the air conditioning and heating went out. And of course, when you're a nonprofit, everything hurts.
Exactly.
And so we had to replace that. I think I was president of the board at the time.
Yes.
So that was several $1,000s. And so we do count on the community to step up and help with these projects. And the painting will be the next big project. It needs to be done. It needs to be done fairly soon.
Yes.
And we will continue to work toward that.
And Jim, could you speak to the fact that we're looking long-term down the road too, with a beginning in a small way, but hoping to grow an endowment? Could you speak to that?
Yes, and if we can, we have contributions to the endowment. Every year we ask for contributions. We used to have a yard sale, and now what we have is a fake yard sale.
A yardless yard sale.
A yardless yard sale. Because we were out there in 110-degree heat in July trying to sell donated items. And now what we do is we ask people just to pretend like they came and give us a little bit of money. And that's worked out fairly well. And some of that money goes to the endowment. They can earmark where it goes, either to operations or the endowment. And if we can get that endowment up big enough so that we can survive off the interest, and that's our goal, then we can do our maintenance from the interest of the endowment, and we can not be as conscious all the time of having to raise money for repairs and maintenance.
Yes, and I think it's interesting to note, Jim, that in the beginning it was the citizens of Tahlequah and Cherokee County who jumped in and did the restoration of this house. There were no state monies, no county monies, no city monies that went into the restoration, and we don't receive those still.
Right.
Is that correct?
That's correct. And this house, it was about to be pushed over. Yeah. It was about to fall down. At one time, it was the health department.
Right.
And prior to that, it was a rooming house.
Right.
And so it was in pretty bad shape. And we owe a lot of people in this community for their efforts to salvage this house. A community is only has the character of its history. And that this is certainly part of that character.
It is indeed. And you know, not only have individual citizens and civic groups, but businesses have come in and helped us with refreshments or small or medium-sized donations, or how can we help in some way. And that speaks to the unity of interest in the civic value of this community.
Yes, definitely. And without that, of course, we'd be dead in the water.
Exactly so.
But we are fairly good at leaning on people.
In a nice way.
In a nice way to help. And of course, they're only helping because they want to. They want to see this survive. Yes. And be taken care of.
They love it. The comments from individuals and the business community have always been good, wanting to see it survive. And we do a history day camp with 4th grade children in the fall, a 2-day history, free of charge, to return to the community in some way the interest that they've shown in our.
Yes, and those kids love that day camp. They learn how to do things like shuck corn. And make soap. And
right.
they learn all sorts of things that happened 100 years ago. And of course, that's fascinating to a child.
That is exactly right. And then we also do tours for school groups free of charge. Now, we do charge a fee if we have touring groups or individuals or family groups, a small fee if they want to come through, because the money goes back into our operational fund.
That's correct. And somebody comes from home free of charge and conducts a tour.
That's right.
And so it's a non-profit thing, but we use that money for maintenance. And the other thing we do occasionally is we'll rent this facility out for a wedding or a wedding reception or some sort of a function. And it's a beautiful place to have a wedding. Sometimes we'll have them on the lawn, sometimes we'll have them inside, and they'll bring their punch bowl and the other components of the reception or whatever they're having here. So it works out real nicely.
And we do have dishes that they can rent for a small fee if they want us to provide those things. And indeed, it is a lovely, lovely setting, and we've had a lot of those events here and are glad to schedule them. Well, don't go away. We have to take a station break, but we'll come right back.